is going on, guys? JD from New York here, and this is your official WWE Payback 2015 review and results right here on YouTube.com, man. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. Payback really surprised the shit out of me. And I knew going into this, you guys were thinking, you know what, JD, up and down, I'm looking at this match card, and there's really nothing that stands out. It's just another B-level pay-per-view. It's just another Monday Night Raw that's being advertised behind a pay-per-view name on the WWE Network. And I got 15 minutes to do this review, and I don't know how I'm going to do it because there's a lot to talk about. But Payback surprised the shit out of me, all right? The Fatal 4-Way match, I didn't have any inkling, any idea it was going to be that intriguing. I didn't have any idea it was going to be that exciting. I knew for the simple fact that you had Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins in the match, being that they're three members of the Shield, or ex-Shield. I knew it was going to be interesting, but I didn't think it was going to be that good. The teases amongst all three, and then Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose looking at Seth Rollins, like, really, guy, what the fuck do you think is going to happen next, man? You're going right through that fucking table, you know? It was just great, man. The little teases here and there. You seen how well a battle between Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose could be to eventually lead to a triple threat match with Seth Rollins at SummerSlam. You seen it. Those two guys have the utmost respect for each other. They are cordial with each other, but when it got down to business, you knew what they were there for, man. All friendships aside, motherfucker, this is for the WWE Championship. I don't give a shit who you are. That's exactly what happened, and that's exactly the story that they told in the middle of that ring. Struggle, Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, friends, yes, but the ultimate prize that eludes them is more important, to the point that friendship is pretty much second, to everything. And that's what I got out of that, man, and that's exactly what they needed to tell tonight in that match. Randy Orton had his moments. He had his middle rope DDT. He had his RKOs, on the goons out there by ringside that accompanied Seth Rollins to the ring. Got one on Kane. But Kane, a little bit too much Kane in this match, man, really. I understand that it's a fatal 4-way. I understand that there's no rules, this and that. But Kane should not be allowed in the ring as many times as he was. It just devalues the match. It waters down the match. On top of everything that was great in that match, Kane was the one to, you know what? It's just fucking stupid. It's illogical, man. Enough of Kane. It watered down what was a great main event. The crowd was into it. The atmosphere was great. Rollins was great. Ambrose was great. Reigns was great. And I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen now with the Elimination Chamber. WWE set up a lot of good storylines going into the Elimination Chamber. Who is Rollins going to face at the next pay-per-view? What's going to happen with Roman Reigns? How does Roman Reigns feel about being robbed again? What does Dean Ambrose have to say in all this? I really don't know where WWE's going with it, but Money in the Bank is going to be really telling as far as the Shield goes. Ambrose and Reigns are going to be in that Money in the Bank ladder match. The idea of Roman Reigns getting revenge on Seth Rollins for WrestleMania is always going to be hanging in the balance. It's always going to be in the fucking distance. And that's exactly what I think is going to happen, man. I honestly think the best way WWE needs to book this is take what they did with Ambrose and Reigns tonight and move that on into the Chamber and move that on into Money in the Bank, man. Give us a program with Reigns and Ambrose, have Reigns win Money in the Bank, and have Reigns be Mr. Money in the Bank going through the summer, and have him get his eventual revenge on Seth Rollins. And all along, while this is happening, build dissension. Build a storyline inside that Money in the Bank ladder match between Reigns and Ambrose. Friends, yes. Have betrayal. Have fucking, lying and deceit. That's going to be intriguing, man, because we all know their past history. And we're all invested in what these guys did and are doing now. And when you add those real life elements into it, Reigns and Ambrose, I think that would be one hell of a story to tell over the summer, man. Eventually leading to a Rumble with Seth Rollins in a triple threat match with the Shield at SummerSlam in New York, in Brooklyn, to close out that summer pay-per-view, man. It's going to be fucking awesome. That's just what I think is going to happen. That's my gut feeling. That's how I would book it. But all in all, man, great main event tonight. Very exciting. It was, very hot right from the get-go. And I really didn't think much of it, but WWE certainly delivered tonight with Payback and that Fatal 4-Way. Another thing that they delivered on again is with the Tag Team Championships, man. Tag Team Championship Wrestling right now in the WWE for those Tag Team Championships is off the charts, must see, man. A New Day is shining. Cesaro and Kid are shining. And I said it on Twitter, Tag Team Wrestling needs to be a focus point. It needs to be up front and center on WWE TV, because if they're going to give us matches like that every month on pay-per-view, there's no way to hide how great these teams are, man. You know for a fact WWE needs to build off what we see in the last two pay-per-views with Tag Team Wrestling, man, especially with these two teams. Obviously, they got to get other teams in the mix, but if they can recreate what we've seen in the last two pay-per-views with A New Day and Cesaro and Kid, with other teams and going on into the future, that's going to be fantastic for the fucking division as a whole, man. What a match. 2 out of 3 falls. Cesaro and Kid won the first fall. A New Day won the second fall. And then the Freebird rule was thrown out the window. Xavier Woods comes in behind the referee's back when he wasn't even in the match and stole a victory from Kid and Cesaro. Referee had no idea. His face was concealed as he did a small package on Tyson Kidd, or Cesaro, I think it was. But it was just fucking phenomenal. It was a little bit illogical, yes. It was a little bit silly, yes. But does it bring heat to the New Day? Absolutely, man. People will remember how they won that match and think back, you know what? These guys are a bunch of fucking scumbags. That's exactly what they needed to do, man. Get the New Day over, get some heat on them, and keep them rolling, man. I'm loving this act. I'm loving the way Big E is handling himself on the microphone with that big preacher, loud preacher voice. And then you got Xavier Woods being the brains behind it, and Kofi Kingston being the T. Martin of the group, being super excited. It works out, man. It looks very good. Comes off well on TV, and it was a fucking phenomenal match. Probably the best match of the night on the pay-per-view. Sheamus and Ziggler, man, gave us a bloodbath. I don't know what happened with Ziggler, man. I think he headbutted Sheamus. Might have broken his nose. Might have gave himself a big gash over the head. But what a way to start that pay-per-view off tonight with Sheamus and Ziggler. Ziggler is always going to be a top performer in WWE no matter what. But Sheamus is really proving himself, man. And Sheamus may be the guy right now that is legit giving you 110% better than anybody else on the roster right now. He may be definitely the most worthy to take that Intercontinental Championship being vacated right now in the Elimination Chamber. He may be crowned the new IC Champion, man. I think that's the right way to go about it. Sheamus has really proven himself since coming back. He looks refreshed. He's got a great look. The brutality is there. There's no fucking cheesy gimmicks. There's no jokes. There's no high-fiving little fucking runt kids in the crowd. Go out there, make your opponent bleed, kick his ass, fucking, just slap the shit out of him and go on into the back and do the same shit all over again the next day, man. I think WWE did a fabulous job bringing Sheamus back. He's got a great look. And right now, out of everybody that we see on WWE television mixed in with storylines, Sheamus may be the number one guy shining brightest out of everybody. And he may be your new IC champion, man. I will not be opposed to seeing Sheamus as the new Intercontinental Champion. Neville is another front runner for that. I think Adrian Neville has definitely proved himself with the way he's come up on the main roster. It looks like WWE really doesn't know how to handle Neville. They don't want to bury him, but they don't want to push him too far too soon. So you kind of get that feeling with WWE. But if they gave him the Intercontinental Championship, man, I don't think anyone in the YWC or on the internet, and even in the WWE Universe, man, I don't think anyone is going to complain about Adrian Neville being crowned the new Intercontinental Champion with the amount of matches that we would get out of that, a fighting champion we would get out of that, and he's a fan favorite, man. He's beloved already. He's proven himself already. But I think Sheamus ultimately will take that Intercontinental Championship. Great match with Dolph Ziggler tonight. Adrian Neville, on the other hand, fought Wade Barrett tonight. Wade Barrett got counted out on purpose, but Adrian Neville, again, like I said, WWE really doesn't know what to do with him. It feels like they don't know how to push him. They don't want to push him too far. They really don't know how to utilize him right now. They want to protect him, like I mentioned on Off the Script. but he ended up hitting his red arrow anyway and broke the scepter with a beautiful back suplex on Wade Barrett. Scepter broke in half, and then he delivered the red arrow to send the crowd home happy on that one. Great maneuver there. Like I said, Adrian Neville and Sheamus will both be in the Elimination Chamber, as well as Wade Barrett for the Intercontinental Championship. John Cena versus Rusev, man, I really don't know what to say about this. All I'm going to say is that every I Quit match with John Cena looks the same as every other one that he's been in, man. This one reminded me so much of the one he had with Umaga at the Royal Rumble several years ago, where the rope was broken and the steel steps were in the ring, and John Cena got the fucking submission hold that he's got. You know, he was choking him out. And it's the same shit, man. It's like WWE takes bits and pieces of every John Cena I Quit match and just adds it on to the next one every time he comes around to an I Quit match. Rusev, again, obviously we knew how this was going to end. Lana pulled an Owen Hart against Bob Backlund and Bret Hart. Makes, the referee call the match because she wants Rusev to say I quit. So, he was screaming at the top of his lungs. Lana said, you know what, I'm going to say I quit for him. The match is over. It was a very, very typical ending to a very, very, I'd say, outplayed storyline. It was too much. We had 4 pay-per-views of the same match. How different can you get going from Fastlane to WrestleMania to Extreme Rules to Payback? How much different can you get, man? Yes, there was cheesy gimmick spots in the match with the fireworks, and, there was a couple of botches here and there. The match dragged on. I was falling asleep, yada, yada, yada. But in the end, we all knew John Cena was going to win. We all knew Lana was going to have a vital role in the outcome of that match. That she did. She said, I quit for Rusev as he was screaming at the top of his lungs while John Cena pretty much was on the verge of making Rusev tap. The top rope of the ring was, broken apart because of Rusev's animalistic rage. And John Cena took advantage of that and pretty much choked him out. The rope was over his eyes, choking him. It was just ridiculous, man. A lot of cheesy gimmick bullshit in the match, but it ended up going to John Cena like we all knew it would. In the end, I think Payback was a great pay-per-view, man. And before I forget, I have, 15 minutes to do this fucking review thanks to YouTube. Bray Wyatt and fucking Ryback, man. Ryback might have lost tonight. Let me tell you guys this. Ryback might have lost tonight, but let me tell you, he actually shined probably brightest out of everybody, because even though he lost, his stock rose. He looked like a superstar. Bray Wyatt made him look beast tonight. That's the first time I'm going to say that about Ryback, man. Ryback had one hell of a fucking match. It was brutal. Bray Wyatt took him to the limit. It was hard-hitting. 2 big guys going at it. Ryback flying off the top rope, doing a fucking big splash off the top rope. When do you ever see that? Bray Wyatt being physical, Ryback being physical. Everything was nice and smooth. The transitions from move to move, the story that they told in the ring was great. And I was shocked. I'd be the first to tell you, I had absolutely no fucking interest in this match. When it was over, I'm saying, these guys worked their fucking asses off, and you gotta commend them, you gotta respect them. Great fucking match tonight by both men, and if they have another rematch, I'll be right there looking forward to seeing what happens next. And that was great. I just don't know why they're feuding. I just don't know why they are feuding. And there was a women's match that nobody fucking cares about. And there was Macho Man Down Curtis Axel versus The Ascension. Nobody fucking cares. I was driving myself home from work, so thank God I missed that. But Payback was great, guys. If you enjoyed the review, let me know. Hit that thumbs up. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all the support this weekend. I'll be back next week, as always, with more WWE content. Why? Because I'm the #1 fucking source on YouTube.com for WWE content, man. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said, hit that thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you thought about Payback, and I will be back on Friday with more Off the Script. This is JD. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys later, man.